Oh man, I'm so parched. Whew. Well, I better get back to camp and get some water. What? My kickstart must have fallen off back there. How the heck am I gonna get back? Guess I better start walking.
Getting out of line. Getting out of line. Writing letters in the sand.
Berkeley! Oh, it's okay. Dude, Derek, where the heck have you been? BeRAD, my kickstart fell off, and I had to walk all the way back here. You know you can just bump start it and ride it back, right? What do you mean? Alright, let me show you. What is a bump start and how do you do it? Simply put, bump starting utilizes forward momentum of the bike to rotate the rear wheel and turn the engine over. So why do you need to know this? Well, if you're like poor Derek and you lost your kickstart lever or your battery died and your e-start won't work, it can help you get back home in a pinch. In this video, I'll show you a few different ways to bump start your bike so you don't end up like Derek. Technique number 1, the downhill bump. This is the most common way to do it. Of course, it requires you to have a downslope nearby, so if you didn't stop at the top of the hill, you've got some pushing to do. Point your bike down the hill, pull your clutch in, and shift into gear. I recommend trying second gear because it requires less torque to turn the motor over. Now, with the clutch still held in, begin rolling downhill. Stand up on the pegs as soon as you can. Once you've gained momentum, drop your butt down onto the rear of the seat. This will compress the rear shock and provide the best traction to the rear tire. As your butt touches the seat, release the clutch to engage the transmission. This burst of traction and quick release of the clutch will cause your rear wheel to transfer all of that forward rolling momentum into rotational energy. Your motor will begin to turn over and the bike will start up. It's not always necessary to slam your butt down onto the seat. Sometimes simply applying pressure down onto the pegs provides enough traction to get the job done. It's all based on how much speed you have, what gear you're in, and how much traction the surface provides you. Don't overthink it, just go try it for yourself and see what works. You know what else you shouldn't overthink? Is heading to BeRADproducts.com and checking out the awesome performance parts and other products. On this bike, I've got a Apex racing head, Boyson rad valve, electron carb, and funnel web air filter. I've assembled all these parts into the Freight Train Performance package to increase overall power and efficiency. It'll make sure your bike's running awesome in any situation. Good girl. And technique number 2, the pusher. No hills around? No problem. This way takes a lot more effort, but it's still a lot better than walking all the way back home. Stand beside the bike with both hands on the bars. I recommend the left side. Begin pushing the bike forward, building as much momentum as possible. Once you're rolling as fast as you can, quickly jump up and land your left foot on the left peg. Swing your right foot over the seat and onto the right side peg. Repeat the clutch and body movement steps we went over in the downhill bump technique to get the traction and start the bike. This all needs to be done in a quick and fluid motion. Every bit of time spent getting into position is momentum lost. If the engine happened to cool down, or even if it's still a little warm, the clutch plates will likely stick together just enough to add resistance even if the clutch lever is pulled in. This may make it hard or even impossible to make the bike roll forward when pushing. To get around this, put the bike in neutral when you begin pushing. Build up your momentum and jump on. Just before you start to compress the rear shock, pull the clutch in and shift up to second gear. Quickly release the clutch once in gear and compress down onto the seat. This adds a lot more challenge to the technique, but it's often necessary. Note that this way of bump starting is not going to work well in mud or deep sand. Soft surfaces make it really hard to push the bike up to speed. Technique number 3, the swinger. Grab your wife and knock on the neighbor's wrong script. Position yourself on the side of the bike opposite the chain. Place your foot on the rear of the swing arm. Confirm that the rider is ready and slowly begin pushing. It's very important for the person pushing to sit far forward on the seat and extend their leg as much as possible. This will keep space between the bikes, reducing the risk of getting tangled up. Once the bike is up to speed, yell out to let the person know you're about to release them. After the release, the rider being pushed can now perform the standard bump procedure used in the previous techniques. Boom, the bike is now running. And now we have technique number 4, the tug. Very similar to the swinger method, but this time you'll need a tow strap or rope to pull instead of push. Place the running bike in front and slightly to the side of the one needing the tug. Connect one end of the strap to the foot peg of the bike needing the tug and the other end to the opposing side foot peg of the other bike. Slowly pull forward and build tension in the strap, then begin building momentum. I'm sure you can figure the rest of the steps out on your own by now. Just remember that you're connected to another bike for this one. Best practice is to stop and unhook from each other. Just don't let the bike stall again. Well, Derek, you've had a pretty tough day. You want me to give you a tug?
I mean, could you at least take me to dinner first?
No, Derek, I meant a bump start tug.
Oh, yeah, that'd be great. Okay, yeah. Let me just, hop on the back here, I guess. So, will you still take me to dinner, though?
Also, go check out the MHR engine stand. This stand makes doing rebuilds, top ends, and other adjustments so much easier. Don't be the guy who's missing those early spring rides with your best buds because your bike's not ready to go. Check out the MHR engine stand and all the performance parts and get your stuff running top notch.